Welcome back. In a historic moment, space flights are now a reality. Virgin Galactic is poised to launch its first commercial rocket space flight. Now, as per the company's website, the flight is set to be a space tour of 90 minutes. A three-man crew, a part of the aeronautic military of Italy, will board the passenger rocket plane accompanied by a Virgin Galactic instructor, will embark on a suborbital journey. Now, this milestone comes after an extended test campaign Branson himself rode along with 5 other Virgin Galactic personnel in 2021. But the successful nod was delayed due to an investigation into a flight deviation from assigned airspace in July 2021.
At Virgin Galactic, we believe in the power of curiosity.
Humans are an adventurous species. It's very natural for us to want to go and explore space.
But we have an opportunity to be at the very birth of routine access to space. It's going to be transformative.
This first commercial flight is a research mission conducted by the Italian Air Force, featuring human researchers and payload experiments.
We're able to further the technologies and the research that end up helping to better human life here on Earth.
Commercial spaceflight is changing what access to space means.
Release, release, release.
Fire, fire.
This is really the beginning of the next space age. All of us have a part to play, and that's going to be the thing that blows the gate open to the next generation.
All right, I have with me on the broadcast RC Kapoor, who is a space scientist. Many thanks, sir, for joining us here on Mirror Now. Sir, Virgin Galactic is due to send its first commercial flight into space later today. What are your views on it? Sir, I would request you to please unmute.
If you recall that film 2001 Space Odyssey, so there is a famous term coined there, space the final frontier. So as one of the commentators here said, it's a new age that's going to begin. So I certainly agree with the lady. And obviously this is a event that marks the sort of another milestone, in the sense that so far now we have seen only the space agencies supported by the various governments that have been conducting human space flight programs. And of course, ISRO is one of them. And very soon we'll see some Indians also going to the space. And hopefully next year it's going to happen. So here in this case, it's a commercial venture. It's the beginning of that. And Virgin Galactic is going to have a mothership. And along with that, there will be a rocket. So they reach the height of 50,000 feet, or about 15 kilometers above the Earth. And from there, the rocket fires. And in a brief suborbital flight, the astronauts are taken there. So these are actually, it's a 90 minutes is also something like one trip around the Earth. So in this, you can imagine the kind of high level of technology and expertise and preparation that has gone. So we really look forward to it. And I think around 8:30 in the evening today, that launch is going to happen.
So what does this mean for the future of space tourism?
Well, one has always wanted to fly, and after one came to know about space, then one has also wanted to go to the space. So if you remember, Koi na roko dil ki udaan ko. So here it's just that, and human curiosity has no bounds. And in fact, one of my professors had once said that in response to research, why do we do research? He said that you stand before the Himalayas and you want to go to the top of Everest. Why do you want to do that? Without that also you can stay home and then live life. But it's the human curiosity that has brought us to this level of technological perfection and such a level of technological achievements. So here, obviously, the interest is to go to the space. So far now, people have not been, looks like, are not satisfied with the high altitude flights. So here is a chance to go to the space. Space, as Dr. Fred Hoyle had said, that it's not very far. You have to drive 100 kilometers vertically. So space actually, we must say, begins from there. But generally, the orbits for the satellites are 400 to 500 kilometers that are in the polar orbit. And then there's no limit. So here, these are suborbital flights, and this is now a kind of a experiment in the following sense that you want to study what happens to the astronauts who are going in the ship, and they are going to be 4. In fact, if you compare, Gaganyaan has capacity for 3. So here, obviously, the scales are quite correspondingly high. And then what happens to human beings when they are sent at several times G. G is the gravitational attraction. So 3 times that or more than that, human body should be able to endure that. And that endurance test is going to be there. What happens to your heartbeats and what happens to your blood pressure? Obviously, you are inside a spacesuit. And then in microgravity, how we are going to sort of act and behave, because this is a very sort of a brief flight. And if you remember that in International Space Station, people have lived for more than 1 year, and they are in the state of virtual weightlessness. You might have seen the videos where Sunita Williams has been sort of floating around inside the space station. So obviously, all of that requires a tremendous backing of highest level of technology and engineering.
Right.
So here is hoping that this kind of experience, which is now for, let's say, lesser mortals, because those who are trained for International Space Station or for the space flight, say, our Artemis crew that is going to be trained or is undergoing training. So it's not that kind of scale, but being a very brief flight, there is certainly a certain amount of training would have gone.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for joining us here on Mirror Now and sharing your views.